My name is Sholler, and I'm an undergraduate research assistant in the Department of Psychology under Dr. Mark West, and we study brain activity and affective behavior in rats during cocaine self-administration. We think that if you can pinpoint the behavioral, the neural, and the electrophysiological bases of addiction, then we may be able to make advances as to what is plaguing the subset of the population that becomes chronic drug abusers. So we take a number of different routes to do this. One is to monitor behavior in a Pavlovian task and to see how animals learn to respond to drug. And we also look at neural recordings and the electrophysiology and see what is going on in the brain during chronic exposure to drugs like cocaine. The classic Pavlovian paradigm is that when an animal has a paired stimulus, or has a stimulus paired with a rewarding response, the animal will respond every time that stimulus is available. What we find is that animals that may represent this subset of the population using drugs that are chronic drug abusers, these animals may ignore those discriminative stimuli and may actually be responding to maintain a drug level in their body. However, if the drug level rises above that normal level or below that normal level, the animals display negative affect. They vocalize in a negative fashion, and this may be a sign that the animal does not want to sway from a drug level below that good feeling or above that good feeling. And further, it may just be that the first few minutes or so of drug taking, when a user is escalating its drug level, are the ones that feel good, that are reinforcing in a positive way. The stigma is always that drug abusers can't stop taking drugs because they need to feel that high, they need to feel good. It may just be that drug users need to take that drug so that they don't feel bad. I would say that one of the most important things that I've learned is to persist. So the research process is long, and it can drag on through months and even years on individual projects. But there's always a reason why you're researching a certain topic, and there's always an overarching question that you wish to answer. And when you begin digging into the data, analyzing the results, it's a tedious process, but it is definitely something that is exciting. Aresty invests the time to pair students and faculty mentors so that the interest is already there. This really allows students and enables students to dive into fields that they're interested in, and when those students have that level of interest, it's easy for them to dive into the work and to give their 100%. And I think that Aresty harbors a great environment for students to come into labs that may not be nearly as approachable without the assistance of a formal research program. I think that it was important for me to do research because I learn differently than what is always in the classroom. So it is necessary for students to have classroom instruction, and it teaches them the basics in their field and even expands upon really important concepts. But a lot of students aren't able to apply those concepts without something that's a little bit more intensive. So I think that for students who aren't necessarily capable of learning as strongly as they could in the classroom and tying those concepts together, research initiatives really allow students to delve into the work in a different way that may allow them to absorb it like they wouldn't absorb it in the classroom. It may seem minor that Aresty is hosting a research initiative for undergraduates, but it really gets the wheels turning on how we continue and how we find our next generation of researchers. And I think that simple point is, shouldn't be taken for granted.